This is Sports Shorts Radio. It's the fastest 2 hours on the radio, covering it all from the Fighting Tigers of LSU to the tracks of NASCAR on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge. Now, here's Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel.
And welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of Sports Shorts. Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis here with you in the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, but we're presented, as always, each and every week by L'Auberge Casino in Baton Rouge. This is one of my favorite times of the year. College baseball season is in full effect. We've got all the conference tournaments going on. We'll talk some LSU baseball. We'll talk about the Raging Cajuns, who are hosting the Sun Belt Conference tournament over in Lafayette. Also, you got NBA is so on fire right now. You got Game 7 coming up between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Boston Celtics. That game will be played in Boston. But LeBron James, you can't turn on any national sports talk radio show without the whole conversation about who's greater, LeBron James or Michael Jordan. And for the longest time, I was an absolute Jordan, no doubt about it guy. But I'll tell you what, I'm starting to sway to LeBron James.
I think if you listen, I don't know who one of your favorite commentators on ESPN is, the national brand ESPN, but Stephen A. Smith I've always been a big fan of Stephen A. Smith.
That's so not in line with your Twitter, by the way.
Why?
Your politics.
Well, what's that? No, I'm talking about being a commentator.
Okay.
I think
I can't hear him because he's just yelling the whole time.
Well, that's one of the things I like about him.
Yeah.
I like the fact that I think he's one of the more fair guys on the network. I think that he plays both sides. And his argument for Michael Jordan is pretty unbeatable. If you ever listen to him talk about Michael Jordan, he believes Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. And his argument, I mean, if you listen to it, it's hard to argue with his argument and why that Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time. 6 NBA finals, never went to a seventh game, never lost a final, averaged over 30 points a game in the finals. I mean, this guy, and playing in a different era, a tougher era, it's kind of like playing football right now. You know, football right now is a lot easier.
It's like wide receiver records, right?
You used to clothesline people.
Right.
You know, playing that era compared to this era where you barely touch a guy and it's a foul. So, you know, Michael Jordan played in the toughest time when people were taking people's heads off when they're going to the hole. So, and Michael Jordan's not 265 pounds going to the hole.
Right.
So, Stephen A. Smith's argument, and that's just a few of the things, and he's obviously better at articulating his message than I am.
No doubt.
His message, and any message for that matter.
Unquestionable.
But yeah, I've always been a Stephen A. Smith fan. He's him and Mel
Kiper?
the Melster.
He had the good Mel Kiper's Good Hair Kiper is what you got to call him.
It used to be good hair. It's kind of tapering off on one
yeah,
side.
It's still solid. I mean, the guy's like 20 years older than us.
It's not even close to the good hair anymore, Ron. Let's just be honest. Let's call it what it is. But those are my two favorite commentators on ESPN, and Stephen A. Smith's argument for Michael Jordan is pretty tough to defend. So I would go with us. I would go with Michael Jordan.
So we'll delve a little bit more into that, but the finals are great. And by the way, over in Houston, you've got the Rockets up 3-2 on Golden State, but don't celebrate yet because Chris Paul,
Mr. Goodluck.
Yeah, Chris Paul's injured, and who knows, when he's going to play and what level and all that sort of thing.
And he is carrying that basketball team right now with Harden not scoring.
How about Harden? How about Harden went 0 for 11 or whatever beyond 3, and they still won. That's how good Houston is.
He's missed his last 27 threes.
Shoots.
Dude,
because he's just going to keep junking.
This is the guy that's going to be the MVP of the league.
Right.
But he's slowly losing that. He's allowed.
By the way, didn't we see this last year?
He's letting the brow back into the conversation right now.
Didn't we see this last year where, didn't the voting already done? I think the voting's already done for the regular season.
It's silly.
But they're letting Harden did this last year. He disappeared, remember, in the Game 7 in the finals.
He's disappeared in the finals.
I would say that it's going to be pretty interesting.
Tonight's game is a big deal. Harden without Chris Paul has to play well. He has to score.
Well, you don't have to be cute to be on TV, I guess.
What are you talking about?
The sideline reporter for the American
Well, you're on the sideline all the time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not
you're
about
talking female, male thing.
Yeah, female.
Have-
They
let
just
me
showed the
ESPN
sideline reporter
has
for the
Hey,
American
Hey, bro.
Athletic
I
Conference
mean, you
finals.
think that's the ugliest woman you've ever seen on the
Probably
sideline?
the commissioner's daughter. That's what I'm
Let
going
me
with.
just tell you something. You
Uh,
just watch the NFL. There's some toads running around the
you talking
sidelines.
about ladies? Not ladies. There's guys that are toads.
So you're telling me there's no toads on ESPN on the sidelines?
Oh,
whether it's college
yeah.
football.
No,
there's some toads,
there's a
bro.
couple that come to mind, but I'm gonna refrain. There's a
we're
couple
not
big
gonna-
ones. There's a couple
Yeah,
big
we're not going
ones.
to call them out. There's
Yeah.
more than one.
There's a couple big ones that are on the sidelines. But look,
Who's the hottest sideline reporter? Since you're bringing it up,
man, that is so tough.
who really gets your juices
of all
flowing?
time?
No, just like right now.
I mean,
if I can turn on the
was
TV,
Is it Julie?
if somebody's
Who's the
at-
one that Julie Andrews? Was she the peeping?
Yeah,
Aaron Andrews, with the
That's
guy,
your-
the guy went
you
to
don't even know
jail
her
or whatever
name, but that's your
for
one.
the peeping Tom. He was staring at her through the Motel 6
so you
peephole
just
or
sounded
whatever.
creepy now.
I would get Aaron Andrews. I've actually met her a number of times in
So
person.
she's the one.
She's all time for me.
Yeah.
Aaron Andrews.
Okay,
no
all
doubt.
time for you. I'm going to go current, and but I'm going to tell you something. Jennifer Hale's kind of hot,
Jennifer Hale is
and,
hot.
she's kind of like local.
She's very prim and proper. She might be
And
a
I don't
little
mi-
too prim
and
and
I don't
proper
mind
for
that.
me.
I don't mind that because you know what that means? There's a little freaky deaky somewhere up
Is
in
that
there.
is that your way of thinking about
yes.
it? That if they're too prim and proper,
if they're super stiff, super freaky deaky when it comes to behind closed doors. It's kind of like in politics, the people that scream the most and holler the most about how awful that side is. They're usually the ones
the ultra conservative guy that
either the ultra conservative or
that
the
all of a
ultra
sudden
left.
he's in the
Oh,
backpages.com
he's
or
got
whatever.
closet
Yeah.
stuff. Just
Yeah.
he's when he's at home, it's freaky deaky. Trust me.
If Jennifer Hale's mom happens to be watching the show, he's joking. He doesn't mean it.
I am saying how wonderful her daughter is,
Okay.
and I'm speculating.
What
on
about
the freak-
Kaylee Hartung? That's close to home. I mean,
think
she's
the
an
name,
LSU
I
girl.
think the name really throws me off.
Yeah, it's difficult to comment.
I mean, if somebody said, "Hey, who you dating?" I'm dating that Hartung chick.
Is it hard tongue or hard
Yeah,
tongue? I don't know.
it is.
I'm not
I
sure.
think it is. I think it's pretty awful.
I'm not sure.
Whatever that is.
But yeah, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't need my sideline reporter to be Miss America. I need her to be good. Give me good content.
So who's
ask,
that?
Ask the good questions.
Who would
And
you hire right now to be on the Jumbo Network? Who are you giving the keys to be the face of your sidelines?
I think your girl's not bad.
Danielle, my wife.
No. No.
mean, she would
Jennifer
really be good.
Hale. I
Oh,
think
Hale.
Jennifer Hale. Just because I think we see so much of her, but I think she's getting better and better and better.
She's always
each
been
and every
good.
year. And of course, she does the Pelicans and she does Saints and
Yeah.
the national stuff. And I think she's good. She's a combination of beauty and not afraid to ask questions.
Class, bro.
But yet has a. I hate when you go down to sideline reporters and it's like Walter Cronkite. Walter Cronkite. They're down there on the sidelines and a stern face and, everything's so intense and serious. No. You're a sideline reporter. You're usually doing a story about, Todd Peterson's dad being in the stands or the fact that he didn't get a, swing the bat in high school. Any of that kind of, you're doing lighthearted stuff. I'm not going down to Kaylee Hartung or Jennifer Hale to break down the zone defense of a team.
Some of them do that, though.
And I hate that when they do because what do you know about it? You're just regurgitating something somebody told you in your ear.
Right, that's right.
So give me something that's an opinion of you or something that's a report. So I like reporters that do their job and know what a true sideline reporter is about, and Jennifer Hale is one of them. All right. Let's there's so much to get to today.
By the way, LSU is now up 11-0.
We
They scored
as
another
we are
run, top
doing
of the
this
seventh.
game, doing this broadcast, and we're live on the radio or tape delay on TV, but as we are 10 a.m. Central Time Saturday morning here, LSU and Florida picking up a 10-0. LSU came up 10-0. The fog got them last night, and now LSU's extended the lead to 11-0. And Devin Fontenot's in the game to kind of close it out. I expect Zach Hess will probably pitch tonight.
This is a big look.
when they win. But
This is big. They need to get these 3 outs. If they can get these 3 outs quickly, the game
Save
is
the
over.
pitching, right.
Well,
Save
they
the
need to
pitching.
save their
10-run
arms,
rules in
not
effect.
only for this tournament, but next weekend.
Right.
So this is the next 3 outs, the top of the 7th inning right here, Saturday
you
morning.
save 2 innings worth of pitching.
Save 2 innings worth. They have to get out of this because they have to come back and play again today, this afternoon, I think at 2:30 or 3. And they need to get these 3 outs, get the 10-run rule in effect immediately, get back to the hotel, relax for a few hours, and ultimately save the pitching.
So a fog rolled in. I mean, this has been such a bizarre week for LSU baseball, and I tell you, I don't know what it is. It is just something about Hoover magic when it comes to Paul Mainieri and this LSU baseball team.
Yeah.
Because this team came in 8th in the league. They were the number 8 seed. Mississippi State was the number 9 seed. Mississippi State's been red hot the last month. Mm-hmm. They swept Florida at home over the weekend. LSU and Mississippi State had the same conference record. LSU's able to beat Mississippi State in the play-in game on Tuesday. You think, okay, great. That, in my mind, solidified their spot into an NCAA tournament. Yeah. But thought they could easily go 0-2 in the next couple, and it wouldn't matter. They were at least were in.
Right.
They lose to Florida in a game they could have won. A ball here, a ball there. They win that game. They lose by 1 run. Okay, fine. You had a good effort.
Yeah, but that game, there was a good effort, but there was a lot left on the plate there.
Oh, yeah, no question. But, I mean, that's typical.
They
LSU, Florida.
Florida.
LSU, Florida. I mean, look at last year in the championship game. Both of those games could have went LSU's way if something would have, could have, should have happened. But then they win Thursday and Friday, and here they are, with a chance on Saturday against Arkansas coming up this afternoon. You win one, you're in the championship game. LSU's the only team, the only number 8 seed to win a championship. They did that back in 2010. And, oh, by the way, even though they won the conference tournament, they were the number 8 seed. They did not host a regional like they're going to do this year. They're not going to host. And they went on the road to UCLA, and the Jumbo Sports Network broadcasted that series, and LSU, I think, went 1-2 in that series. So they were done. LSU's going to have to travel. They probably are going to travel far. A lot of the projections have them going north to Minnesota or northeast, maybe to Connecticut. But the bottom line is that still it's incredible what they've done. They've piecemealed it. Cam Sanders has been terrible this year.
I know. And
couldn't throw a strike. And all of a sudden the guy looks like Nuke LaLoosh, when he figured it out from Bull Durham. I mean, it's an amazing story.
Look, the big story is obviously Hoover is what LSU is able to do there. And then the second big story, maybe even the top story, is Todd Peterson.
Yeah.
And what he was –
Scott Van Pelt, best thing he's seen all day.
All day or
all – yeah. It's his little segment on his show. Best thing I've seen all day. For Scott Van Pelt, that was it.
Well,
national story.
Well, it's the best story. I mean, it was amazing what that dude was able to do. And nobody even talks about the defensive play he made on the mound.
Yeah, and 5 innings of work. He was outstanding on the hill. Gave up 1 run.
I mean, and you look at the dude. It's not like he's a Greek god standing on the mound.
No, he's a little bit soft.
Anybody that looks like that, and I don't.
He's actually better than he was a year ago. He's getting a little better shape.
I mean, when your hips and your waist are wider than your shoulders.
Well, he looks like he could give birth, but he's got birthing hips. But
he's got a strong lower body. But somebody needs to. I mean, look, I wouldn't touch him. I wouldn't put him in the gym. Just let him keep doing what he's doing.
The guy's getting it done.
Well, look, the guy throws 96 miles an hour, and he can stroke with the bat. Did he hit last night?
They put him in the lineup, and they just to have some fun and draw some attention. But Paul Mainieri had Todd Peterson, who, of course, is a pitcher and never hits. And if you don't know the Todd Peterson story, you've been living under a rock, because it literally was not only the biggest story in Baton Rouge and South Louisiana, but literally got national attention as the best thing ESPN's seen all day, Scott Van Pelt show. But Todd Peterson from St. Mary, Florida, he lied, by the way.
Yeah, he lied.
He lied. He told Paul Mainieri that he hadn't had any at-bats. We'll take a break. When we come back on the other side, we'll tell you the true story.
Let's hear it.
Behind Todd Peterson's batting story and his experience level and the whole 9 yards. And will Todd Peterson hit again? We'll tell you about that. Sports Shorts with a whole bunch of guests coming up, a lot of national championships, former Tigers, as well as Donnie Jones, former NFL punter. We'll have him in hour number 2. Sports Shorts will continue, presented by LeBears right after this.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. Baker Printing.
Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports Shorts, Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis here in the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio in Baton Rouge. We're presented by LeBears Casino, who Candlebox in concert Friday, June 1st over at LeBears. Probably just a handful of tickets left, so if you want them, go to Ticketmaster.com or go by the Sundry store inside LeBears. All kind of great shows and stuff coming up this summer as well. Joel Davis here with us, JD. So Todd Peterson. First off, Todd Peterson, the first month of the season, the LSU pitcher, sophomore out of St. Mary's, Florida, 6'5", 222-ish. Awful the first month of the season. Awful. But then all of a sudden, they move him out of the starting rotation, put him in the back end of the bullpen in the last month or so. He's figured it out. He's found himself. When he knows he's only going to throw an inning or two, he's able to let it go. The velocity is 92, 96, mostly 93, 94. He's been dominant. He's had some juice. The slider is sharper. He has been a guy on the back end of that bullpen. As Bain has kind of faded a little bit because of his role, he's having to play offense and swing it. You know, he hasn't been as effective in the bullpen, nor have they really wanted to go to him as much because he's playing in the field. So Bain, who was the closer at the beginning of the year, is really not anymore.
Which I'm fine with.
Beck hadn't, been too inconsistent. They haven't really. They needed somebody to step forward after the bullpen was pretty good for the first half of the year. It started to fade in the middle of the year. All of a sudden, here is Todd Peterson, and we're thinking, hey, they figured it out. They found a dude.
Yeah.
He's excelled in that role. He comes in on Thursday and when in an elimination game and goes 5 innings out of the bullpen. They go into extras. They win it in the 12th.
A stressful game, mind you.
Yes. I mean, dominant performance. He did give up a run. He came in for give up a run in the 8th on a great slider.
Yeah, but that really wasn't. Was that on him?
Yeah, no, he came in and he got ahead of the guy 0-1 on a 220 hitter. Well, yeah, when Watson misplayed a ball, although technically
misplayed the ball.
Yeah,
I mean, he looked like you out there playing center field.
No, it looked like a 7th grade girl in PE.
It was unbelievable. I was shocked.
It was a line drive to center field. Watson ran in. The ball went over his head. It was horribly misplayed.
I've seen
by
that
a guy
happen.
Who's so good.
I've seen that happen to a guy in Brass, Baton Rouge Ancient Athletes. When he first came into the league, I think they kicked him out the next day.
Yeah, they should.
He literally ran up when a ball was going about 100 feet over his head. He came flying in.
That's what Zach Watson
then
did.
Threw his glove at the ball.
Which you can't do, by the way. It's totally illegal.
Totally illegal. But as soon as he did
Isn't
that,
it a home run?
No, he ended up on third.
No, but I'm saying if you hit the ball with the glove,
I don't
Google
know
that rule, Lloyd. He's a former baseball player, but it's either a home run or a triple or something. I don't know.
I think it's just instinct. It's instinct for a bad player to do that.
or a player who knows nothing about baseball.
Well, and that's why he's no longer with us.
So he passed away?
No, we kicked him out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we kicked
him out. anyway, Watson, who misplayed the ball, and eventually Peterson gets. Anyway, it's 3-2. Peterson was outstanding. 5+ innings, gave up the 2 runs. Really, only one of them he should have given up. But the whole story was because Bain now, who's the DH and first baseman and all that, he was a DH to start the game. When he came in to pitch, when he took him back out and put Peterson in, they had to burn the DH, which meant that the next time the hitter spot comes up, you're going to have to pinch hit for him. But LSU had taken the lead. They had Chris Reed on deck ready to go, but LSU had taken a 1-run lead. They didn't want to let Peterson have to, they wanted Peterson to go back out. They didn't want to have to burn another pitcher.
Yeah.
So they let him hit, and the intention was just go up there, just stand in the batter's box. Don't worry about it. You got a 1-run lead. You just go out there and pitch. Well, they changed pitchers, and Peterson, like most pitchers would, lobbying for an opportunity to swing the bat, says, Coach, I mean, look, I can do it. I was a really good hitter, blah, blah, blah. And for whatever reason, Paul feeling good. It's late in the night, whatever. He was a little, maybe he was tired, didn't get a lot of sleep. Says, okay, and lets Peterson swing it. And he hits a double off the wall, which I thought was a homer off his bat.
I did too. I thought he was going to get out.
Insanity ensued. I mean, just people lost their mind. I lost my mind watching the game. LSU fans around the country lost my mind. The stadium went insane. The announcers went insane. And it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
Well, it was the game-winning hit because
they gave up
Florida,
a run in the next inning.
Not Florida. They got a run in the next inning.
Yeah.
They got a run in the next inning. And so if he hadn't South Carolina, they got a run in the final, the bottom half of the 12th inning.
His 2 runs were the winning runs.
They were the winning runs. And he had a great defensive play on the mound that stopped a run from possibly happening. That was going up the middle, buddy, for a base hit if he didn't stab that with his glove. He pitched for 4.5 innings or 5 innings, whatever it was. He had a double. That dude went legendary. And then not only did he go legendary.
The post game is what made him legendary.
That was a great performance by any player, and a player that you weren't expecting to do that. Then he goes into the post game interview. And he just shows you, he just introduced who he is to the world. Nobody really knew that guy. You got to see his personality in that interview. What were you thinking when you stepped into the batter's box?
He sounded like
go yard.
No, he said drop nukes.
No,
go yard. Right.
His
go
first statement was go yard. And I mean, who? That's exactly what everybody's thinking. Of course I'm going yard. Everybody steps in the batter's box. Unless you're super disciplined.
Do we have the video? Or is this just a picture?
Go yard.
Okay.
And then he follows that up with I hit bombs. So those are 2 hashtags all over Twitter that will last forever in the LSU history book.
Well, look, here's the thing. This is what we knew about Todd Peterson before he dropped nukes, right? And that is that he's an interesting looking fella. He didn't have a good start to his sophomore year. He's been amazing the last month of the season out of the bullpen, and they found a closer and a guy that they're excited about next year, throwing 95 out of the back end of the bullpen.
He better slow it down or he's going to get drafted.
Well, he's a sophomore,
and
he's not draft eligible.
No, that's right. He's right. Yeah. He's a sophomore.
So that's what we knew. Afterwards, we knew St. Mary's, Florida. We know his dad's name is Hans and looks exactly like him.
They're like twins.
So, like I said on Jacob Hester's show on Thursday, no need for 23andme.com because that's your father.
There's no doubt.
There's going to be no reveal with the envelope on what's that
DNA
show
test.
on Jerry Springer,
Maury.
where or Maury Povich. No, it's a Maury. We got to go way back. Maury Povich show.
I think Jerry started.
No, Maury did that. No, it's Maury.
Jerry didn't start the DNA. Yeah. And then that's when the fight started breaking out.
I don't remember who was first. They've both been around a long time doing scumbaggy things.
That's when the fights began, was Jerry Springer, is because they started the DNA.
There's no need for the envelope on either one of those shows because we know who your daddy is. And it's Hans from St. Mary's, Florida, who they look like twins.
They look like brothers.
And so anyway,
it's Lake Mary.
Oh, it's Lake Mary, Florida. Good. St. Mary's was a heck of a school in Natchitoches. Lake Mary, Florida is where you stop on your way to Orlando. Sometimes you spend the night there. Yeah, that's the next city after Tallahassee, right, where you make the turn to go south. You saw a lot of people will stay in Lake Mary.
A few times, haven't you?
Yeah, a little bit. But anyway, here's the thing. He lied to Pulmonary, which I love the fact that he lobbied to him like he was an Amway salesman and said, look, if you just buy the toilet paper, you're going to be a millionaire. Right. But he told him, look, I dropped nukes in high school. I can swing it, coach. Give me a chance. And Paul had him. I said, okay. And he put him in there. And on a 1-2 count, this is the part I love the most.
It was 1-2.
On a 1-ball, 2-strike count, he lifted the leg and swung out of his, his arse. And hit a laser off the wall.
He looked like
a
pitcher. The bat speed was there, brother. He had the bat speed on it. And but his form wasn't really. If he had any lower body in that swing, that thing was going.
Yeah,
that thing was.
It was
going.
all like
it was
fungo
a
swing. It was a fungo
meatball
swing.
right down the center.
87 middle in.
I mean, he raked it, and that was a freshman coming off the mound. He said he looked scared, and he was not scared. Here's what Peterson needs to do to just. He doesn't look the part yet. He doesn't look the part that for what he's performing.
Right.
He needs to grow a mullet. Because you can't do the facial.
Right.
You can't do the facial hair with LSU, right? Paul Mainieri doesn't allow that, correct?
Yeah, that's his thing, right?
So he needs to go straight mullet. He needs to do the Matthew Beck, that black mullet. He needs to do something
like a Hans mullet.
A Hans mullet,
right?
He needs a mullet. If he's going to be the closer, because he doesn't look the part,
right? He's
got to do something with the image to intimidate people. And I'm calling for the Todd Peterson mullet. It needs to start happening immediately.
The best was the post game reaction where Paul Mainieri was told by Todd Peterson that Coach, right. I got a little confession. I didn't swing in high school. Yeah. I swung and I did take BP. I swung in junior high and that was the best. But here's what we do know now. Okay. Todd Peterson lies a lot.
He's a liar.
He lied to Paul Mainieri. He lied to Paul Mainieri and told him that he dropped bombs in high school, Coach, while he was on deck, and talked his way into swinging. He lied at the press conference and said he never hit in high school. His high school coach from Lake Mary, Florida, finally set the record straight yesterday when he was being interviewed and said that he did, in fact, hit his senior year. He batted 6 times at the beginning of the season because he'd been, again, lobbying for ABs, took some practice. And he said, look, in batting practice, he could hit 1 home run every 10 swings or something. But in the game, he batted 6 times. He struck out 4 times. So Todd Peterson did hit in high school. Not very well, mind you. I don't blame him for blocking it out and forgetting about it because he didn't want to bring it up.
Yeah.
But the guy lies a lot.
Let me ask you this, Ron. How does Paul Mainieri not know this? Didn't he recruit the kid?
Yeah, but nobody knows. When you recruit a pitcher, you're not
ask these questions.
No, you're not worried about a guy's hitting.
Okay, you're recruiting. What if you don't work out as a pitcher? Maybe we can use you in some.
No, never happened.
How does that question? It's kind of like a DB. I'm recruiting this DB, but have you ever done any punt returns? You ever played wide receiver? I guarantee you, Ogeron knows if a player on a football field played any other position. I think baseball coaches are lazy. How do you not ask? How do you not know if a dude hit the ball, regardless if he's a pitcher?
Look, first off,
I think it's laziness.
First off, Todd Peterson, you take a look at him, you know there's no other position. But I will say this, that for sure, 100,000%, next year when LSU has fall practice, they will have pitcher batting practice.
Why not?
I mean, with Austin Bain, what's happened to him, the guy's going to hit 300-plus all year long. And what Todd Peterson did off the bench, no question, the first week of practice, Paul Mainieri will try out all of the hitters in batting practice just to see if there's some diamond in the rough there.
And before we go, I think during the recruiting process, you ask those questions. You find that out about the players you're bringing in. Just a thought.
Quick question before we go: who wins? Because we do the show every Saturday.
If you got up to watch the LSU game, you can go back to sleep. It's already over.
15 pitches. Devin Fontenot came in after that delay. They won 11-0. So now LSU takes on Arkansas this afternoon on the SEC Network, right. And we expect Zach Hess to probably be named the starter. We don't know that for sure. We'll talk to Doug Thompson in just a few minutes here on the show. Doug just finished on the broadcast with Chris Blair. We'll visit with him in a few. We've got Buzzy Heidel coming up next, the 2009 National Champion. But before we go, basketball, who do you think wins? Game 7, Cleveland and Boston. In Boston, who do you like to advance out of the East?
I would like to see Boston get through.
Are you tired of LeBron?
I'm just over Cleveland. I think without LeBron, they're terrible. And then how about Mr. Lucky Chris Paul? Chris Paul finally has a chance to get to the finals. He's never been this far, and then he pulls a hamstring. So he's not going to play tonight.
Houston up 3-2 over Golden State.
They're going to lose tonight. It'll go back to Houston. And if Chris Paul plays in Game 7, they have a chance. If he doesn't, it's Golden State back to the.
I'm going to go repeat number 4, Golden State and Cleveland for the final time because LeBron will be somewhere else next year. For the final time, Golden State. I think with Chris Paul injured, I thought Golden State would win the series ahead of time. I'm staying with that pick. Golden State, and then LeBron James, what he does is just amazing. Even though I'm a Celtics fan.
Prediction, if your boy LeBron does not make it to the finals, he'll be in Houston next year. And if Houston loses, if Houston loses to Golden State, I guarantee you that's where he's going.
I don't. Does LeBron want to go to the West where it's tough and have to battle just to get out of the West where it's easier in the East? I don't know.
It's not going to be a battle next year if he's with Harden, Chris Paul, Ariza, and that team. And you got Gordon. Where was that Gordon when he was in New Orleans?
No, Gordon's a bum, and the Pelicans should sue the NBA and him to try to get money back because he didn't try.
It's unbelievable.
All right, he's Joel Davis. He's out. We'll have Buzzy Heidel in when we return. Sports Shorts. We'll be back right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge. Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everybody, to Sports Shorts. Ronnie Rance here with you as we're presented by LeBear's Casino in Baton Rouge. A lot of great college baseball to talk about as the LSU Tigers do what they always do. And Hoover came in a number 8 seed. Here they are after beating Florida, who has lost, I think, 6 of their last 7, the Gators have. My goodness. LSU has locked solidly put themselves in a regional and probably a number 2 seed, although does that really matter, 2 seed, 3 seed? But but the bottom line is they'll be on the road, and they play Arkansas this afternoon for a chance to make it to the championship. Remember, Arkansas last year, had looked amazing all the way to the finals, so they played LSU. A guy who knows something about the SEC tournament, didn't stay there very long his first time there, but he did homer. Buzzy Heidel joins us, hit a home run against Alabama over there to win a game once, and it was Smoke Laval's last victory as an LSU coach. Buzzy Heidel, 2009 College World Series champion, joins us. Buzz, how are you?
Good. Yeah, look, just getting coaches their last victories at LSU is what I do. I mean, look, I'm only one player. I couldn't go pitch and do all that in 2006 either. I mean, I got us one win. It should have been enough. It didn't get us in the tournament, but I'm over that. So.
Buzz, before we delve into LSU and all, we do have a special guest who would like to join us real quick on the line. It's our Jumbo Sports Network collection agency. We bring in Joel Davis. Joel.
Hey guys, glad to see that you were able to corral Buzzy Heidel. Buzzy, you still owe me $60 for the bar stools.
Was that intentional? Who do we have with us, Lloyd?
Still got Joel.
We still have Joel. Lloyd, could you get Buzzy back? Either Buzzy hung up or Lloyd hung up on Buzzy. But for the record, for the folks out there, you're the owner of Wooden Haven Furniture Company, and tell us what transpired as Lloyd tracks down Buzzy.
Yeah, so last weekend we had our semi-annual tent sale. It's our spring clearance type deal, and hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so sale and Buzzy and Ronnie decided to show up, and Buzzy needed to do a little shopping, looking for some bar stools. So, I had some bar stools on sale, some cute little iron and wood bar stools that were normally, I think, $149, and Buzzy talked me down on two of them to basically $30 a piece. And, way below market value. Said he'd get with me later, give me the money later. I was real busy. We had 500 or so people there all day, and so I was busy. Believed in him. Hadn't heard from him since.
Buzz.
$60.
Buzz.
$60.
We don't have Buzzy. Okay. Well, we just found out that we can't do two people at once. Is that what you're saying? Really?
That's all.
$300,000 studio. We can't do two. Okay. Well, we'll pass on the wishes, Joel. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We'll try to collect for you. All right.
Appreciate you.
Okay. Now we go to Buzzy, who stood by patiently, and we've got dial tone on air. We still need training, don't we? Working the board. We apologize to anybody who's trying to listen to the show on radio or television. Let me know when we have Buzzy on the air. Do we have him? We don't have Buzzy. Okay, keep calling him till you get him. You don't give up. You just keep going, Lloyd. All right, we're going to get him back here in just a minute. By the way, LSU baseball, for those that were watching for 10 minutes earlier, sealed the deal, scored an extra run, won 11-0 earlier on the SEC network. And once again, for the 189th time in the last 2 months, the Warren Morris home run SEC Stories video is playing. I saw Warren last week. He said if he would get $10 for every time that this thing aired, he would be able to retire from Red River Bank. All right, now do we have Buzzy Heidel on the line? Okay, let's bring in Buzz. Buzz, how are you, man?
Hey, doing well. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here. So.
I do. It's Lloyd. Buzz. So you
it's
heard?
Not true. Ronnie doesn't know how to work the studio.
So you heard Joel. You owe him $60 from those bar stools. When are we going to get that taken care of?
Oh, for the stools. Well, see, I thought because I saved him so much money on the auto insurance once it renewed, like multiple thousands among thousands of dollars, Ronnie. I thought that was an easy wash. I mean, a $60 bar stool or thousands of dollars worth of insurance. You tell me.
I'm just the middleman here. By the way, how are those bar stools doing over in Port Allen?
I'm just going to tell you, they are the best dang bar stools. I mean, look, in all honesty, Joel, I mean, this should be worth the $60 right here. If you have not gone shop at Wooden Haven Furniture Company, you need to do it. They've got the best prices, the best product. Me and my wife were able to sit on these bar stools. It's perfect height for our bar. We're able to eat our cereal in the morning, drink our cocktails at night. And they're sturdy. They're not going. They're not going to collapse on you. Very, very high quality product at Wooden Haven Furniture Company. You need to get there if you hadn't been.
By the way, the best part of this whole interview is that while we're talking to you, we're showing your 2009 LSU baseball pick, your headshot photo, and IDing you on the phone. You haven't looked like. I mean, you don't look anything like this picture. But I love the fact that we're 10 years removed and we're showing the young Buzzy Heidel. So you're welcome.
Here's the deal: have we ever showed anybody's picture on that thing that looks anything remotely
exactly
close
right?
To anybody?
You're exactly right. Everybody's photo is totally different.
It's great.
All right, Buzz. So, give me where you were when Todd Peterson did what he did, and your reaction and everything to what has become already a legendary moment in LSU baseball history, where this, hard throwing sophomore closer who looks no more like a hitter than our intern Lloyd does, and he goes up and strokes one off the wall.
Well, first off, I was at my house in my man cave room, if you will, watching it on my TV, and I shocked like everyone else. By the way, I lost it too in the car. I was driving to a function. I had you guys on when y'all were you were talking about Peterson's body type, if you will, and I literally almost wrecked the vehicle. But anyway, he gets up there, and I love Coach Mainieri. I will disagree with him. Like, if I'm going to put a pitcher up there, I realize he didn't want him to get hurt. But I'm not going to just say take 3 pitches. I mean, like maybe the chances are that we get the foot down in time and we get the bat out, and the pitcher throws it right at our bat path, because that's what happened.
Right.
And maybe we just connect and we hit a ball off the wall 335 feet.
Or maybe they make an error.
Or maybe they make an error, but I'm not going to just say, hey, let the guy just throw it. But that's probably what the guy thought, too. Let me just throw this right down the middle. And literally that's the one pitch that bat path would have made contact with the ball. It was just everything happened. It was just perfect alignment of everything, the perfect storm of stuff. But I was amazed, just like everybody. I mean, I saw him take the big hack, the second strike. I think he took a pitch and he took a big hack and missed it, and then obviously he bowed it up. But what a great story. I mean, look, it's unbelievable. I don't know what it is, Ronnie, and I heard you talk about it, because I can't put my thumb on it either, about why LSU plays so well. And it goes back to the days I was there, that why we play so well in Hoover, but we do. And look, not only do they play well, but they get the little breaks. I mean, Florida has not played that bad defensively probably all year.
Ever.
Okay.
Or ever.
I mean, ever in their life. Now, look, on the flip side, if the SEC Player of the Year, India, doesn't make an unbelievable play on Slaughter, they win
the game on Wednesday.
LSU wins that game. So, they got a little lucky there, but Florida was abysmal last. I mean, they couldn't catch. And I realize the field's probably a little wet and dewy and all that, but both teams got to play on it. And I mean, I'm not taking up for, or I'm not. LSU's playing well, but I mean, Florida's never played that bad in their life, and it's what happens in Hoover. I think I have a couple different reasons behind it. I think Coach really that's an important tournament to them. I mean, some coaches, I think, well, if we go there like Florida, they don't have to win it. So it's I don't know that I mean, O'Sullivan's wanting to win, and you can't tell me that he's telling guys to not play well. I mean, I realize that, but I think Coach puts a little more emphasis on, I want to go there and play well, and this is our tournament, and LSU does.
It's by the way, Florida, they've lost 6 of 7, and they haven't looked good doing it. And they've got their starting catcher's got a hurt hand, Swartz, who's an All-American, and you got your best pitcher, a first-round pick, got a slightly pulled hammy, and you're playing horrific, and you're kicking it around. I mean, it's so bad that you just can't overlook it. You just can't. I mean, gone, I think, are the days of them being a number 1 seed. I really do. I think they've played that bad the last couple of weeks that you can't discount it and still make them a number 1 seed overall.
No, I agree. I agree with you, Ronnie. There's no way they can be the number 1 overall seed. Yeah, 3, 4 maybe, but not number 1.
And then the other thing is that, I mean, if you're them, you got to be really concerned. I mean, this is so bad. You've got the Yips at second. You're trying out second baseman. India can't throw over. You got catcher problems. You got some banged up pitchers. This is, and you don't have a lot of guys that hit in your lineup. You got about 4 or 5 guys that are sub 280 guys. So Florida's susceptible. And now look, they have the talent and the ability to all put it together, and obviously things can happen. Look at what LSU's doing. But I mean, this is not the Florida team that we thought they were prior to 2 weeks ago.
Well, you see Kevin O'Sullivan. Look, I mean, I have a bad habit of biting my fingernails, and I'm not proud of that. He was literally looked like he was chewing his fingertips off last night. I mean, he had the hands in the mouth just gnawing away. Yeah, you could tell that he's kind of probably searching himself, like, what the hell? Like, this is not the time to have a lot, to not play our best baseball. And look, over the last few years, and I know LSU hadn't made it to Omaha every year, and a couple times they've gotten bounced in a super regional, and in 2014 they lost in a regional. But you got to say it one thing: I mean, these guys play well when it gets to Hoover, and it gets them a lot of confidence going into a regional. Whether they win that regional or get to a super regional and win it, you certainly going into every tournament. LSU the last 8 years has been, or 7 years really, have been in a good place.
All right, hang on with us, Buzz, through a break. We'll come back to you because I want to continue our conversation a little bit here with some LSU baseball talk and NCAA postseason talk. We'll have plenty more guests. Hour number 2, we'll hear from Doug Thompson, Blair Barbier, and former LSU and NFL punter Donnie Jones. We'll talk to him about what's going on in the NFL, also the latest on that whole decision by the league on the national anthem deal. And we'll get his thoughts on Billy Cannon as well, being a former Tiger great. So all that's coming up hour number 2. Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts will continue right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Rance here with you on Sports Shorts. We've got Buzzy Heidel here for our final segment, hour number one. Buzz, you there?
I'm here.
All right, Buzzy Heidel joining us. Talk some LSU baseball. He was a part of that 2009 National Championship team. This LSU baseball team, it's crazy what a difference 4 days makes, 5 days makes, because going into Tuesday, I thought if they didn't beat Mississippi State, it was a 50-50 coin flip on them making the postseason in general. By winning on Tuesday, I thought they were 100% in, and now they've done so much and continue to possibly do so much to where maybe they're not only in as a 3 seed on the road, now they're probably going to be a 2 seed somewhere. They're not going to host. They're not going to be a number 1 seed. But, another SEC title, could that be in the works for Paul Mainieri, who seems to just have some unbelievable magic in Hoover?
He does, and it was actually, I told you before I didn't maybe have a reason. I think the more I think about it, I remember in 2009, and Ronnie, I want you to talk about in 91 and 93 because I don't remember. In 2009, we won the SEC championship overall, overall regular season, the tournament, and a national championship. I think 2000 they did the same thing, but I remember in 2009, Tim Corbin, who I respect very much, he's the coach at Vanderbilt, he almost made an excuse for his team in 2007. If you remember, that was David Price on that team, Pedro Alvarez, a lot of good players, first-round draft picks, and they were the number 1 overall seed that year. No doubt they were the best team in the country, and they didn't get out of a regional. And they had won the SEC regular season, and they had won the SEC tournament. And I remember Coach telling us that he told him it was just a lot of baseball and so many days, and we going through that SEC tournament, this, that, and the other. It was almost like he was making an excuse of, I wish we'd have got there, maybe not won as many games in the SEC tournament, got to rest a little bit, and then been ready to go for the regional. And I thought that was kind of I didn't agree with him there. And so Mainieri, he takes the opposite approach. He's like, I want to win everything I play and do well in every game. And so he takes that mindset even to Hoover, like I was saying earlier, and I think that's why we play so well. And, look, they're going to, I don't know if it's come out yet, Ronnie. I would assume Hess is probably the guy that's going to start this afternoon.
Well, I'm going to ask Doug when we have him on next hour, Doug Thompson, who just got off the radio broadcast of LSU's resumption game where they won 11-0 over Florida. But that's what we assume is that they would go Hess.
I mean, honestly, Ronnie, he's been the guy that has really been the kind of the coin flip of the last, you don't know what you're going to get from Hess. These other guys have been pretty, you know what you're going to get from some different guys. He's the guy that really has to throw well because even if the other guys are throwing well, Paul Mainieri at some point is going to throw Hess as a starter, whether it's the right thing to do. I mean, he's the guy that has the electric stuff, but he's the guy that really he's been getting hit around a lot lately, and so that, he has to have a good outing today. And I mean, obviously, if they win, they're playing for an SEC tournament tomorrow and Sunday. But I think more confidence-wise, he has to throw well. So when they go into a regional, they know or have an idea of what they're going to get from him if they're going to throw him opening game or even in that second game of a regional. But I heard you guys earlier too. I mean, what can you say about Cam Sanders? This guy, I mean, it's just unbelievable. He comes in, looks like he just can't be hit. Todd Peterson, the way he's thrown the ball over the last 5-6 outings. I mean, if this can continue, now you're an LSU 2 seed going into a regional. Don't talk about if they send him to a UConn or somebody up there where LSU is going to parade these fan, they're going to get into these ballparks in droves. Don't talk about if they go to one of those places where they hadn't really seen this a whole lot, and LSU's playing well with a lot of different guys out of the bullpen throwing well. I mean, you could easily see this team staying hot, and getting out of a regional.
Yeah, you're right. I think what LSU's done this week leads me to believe that if they go on the road to the right regional, I mean, obviously not going to go on the road to anybody in the SEC and a regional. They'll be maybe matched up in a super. But if they do go north to a Minnesota or east to a Connecticut or something extreme like that, which is what's being reported by some of the prognosticators nationally, I think LSU, one, they're not going to want to see the Tigers come. LSU's going to travel well. And I think LSU's going to feel confident about winning that regional. Super regional, another different story. Again, It's about the consistency that concerns me. LSU playing well for, 4, 5, 6, 7 games in a row has been something they've struggled with this year. but at the same time, tremendous confidence. Look, the way Paul Mainieri does it's a little bit different than the way Skip Bertman did it when it comes to the SEC tournament, but it's also a different era. You know, back in the 80s and 90s, you played 6-team regionals, not 4-team regionals, which meant you had extra games, extra days, and so it was more about getting all your starters, an outing in their regular rotational spot, and then, having it set up pitching-wise for the regionals. Because you're going to have to play more games. A 6-team regional is a lot different than a 4-team regional, which they play now. So it's different mindsets. But the bottom line is that LSU's a champion in the SEC tournament. They look like they may be going after another, and Paul Mainieri has the secret sauce.
He does, and I mean, like you said, you know what's amazing is you just see every button he pushes, it works. Again, whether it's lucky,
Don't say lucky, Doug. Go get man.
Well, it's lucky that when you throw Peterson in there and he hits a double. I mean, Mainieri, that was no coaching move there of let me just get the hot guy. We literally threw a pitcher in there. That's luck. But I'm saying the moves. I remember when years ago when he inserted Alex Edward into the lineup and Mason Katz as freshman. And they just got hot in 2010 in this. When the only time an 8 seed has ever won the SEC tournament, which was in 2010.
And you were a graduate assistant, Buzz. I mean, just saying.
The year I helped coach. That's right. And see, that year we got hot there in the tournament. Was playing, better. Anthony Renato was injured a lot that year. He didn't have a great year just because of injuries. But we had a really good team. But they shipped us out to UCLA, which finished, I think they were runner-up that year in 2010. But you had Trevor Bauer and Garrett Cole. I mean, these guys are big leaguers. And so that's the thing this year. They have to – you're right, Ronnie. They have to get – if they get shipped to a Minnesota, UConn, they've got a shot to come out of it. They can't go get shipped to a Stanford or somebody that's, going to be really tough to beat in a regional. But, yeah, Paul Mainieri knows the buttons to push. They work a lot of times. I mean, he said it. He said, I'm throwing Matthew Beck. He's our best available arm left.
Got about 30 seconds left, yeah. Buzzy. Just want to is it a done deal because you're a guy who was a former position player, moved a pitcher into Paul Mainieri, so now he's got a few two-way guys with Peterson and Bain, and next year fall pitcher batting practice first day, it's happening, right? He's going to try them all out?
I think you have to, no doubt. I mean, I think it's a no-brainer. You got to just do it. It's just incredible.
It's just amazing, and the luck of the Irish. Buzzy, thanks so much, man, for joining us. We'll have you next week for Sports Shorts in studio.
Okay, Ron. Thanks, Ron.
All right, Buzzy Heidel, former national champion and SEC champion, and was a coach on that 2010 team for LSU when they won the SEC tournament as a number 8 seed, which is what LSU's trying to do this weekend. And, hey, don't put it past them. It's incredible. By the way, Raging Cajuns hosting the Sun Belt Conference tournament over in Lafayette. Been a rough one for them. They went 1-2. They're out of the tournament, and they've got games going on. The Raging Cajuns needed to win that tournament. But we will talk to Jeff Schneider, the sports information director, when we return next about did the Raging Cajuns do enough? Can they have hope on Monday of getting selected to the NCAA tournament? We'll talk to the Raging Cajun SID about their baseball team that hasn't ranked, I think, in the 50-something in RPI. We'll talk to them, and we'll hear from Doug Thompson, Blair Barbier, and a whole lot more coming up next on Sports Shorts.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, hardy plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All right, welcome everybody to hour number 2 of Sports Shorts. Hour number 1, we had Joel Davis and Buzzy Heidel with us. We talked a lot about the first half hour, the NBA Finals, LSU, and the SEC tournament, this whole Todd Peterson story, which has blown up nationally. Now we head over to cross the basin, over to Lafayette, over at Russo Park, where the Raging Cajuns of UL Lafayette are hosting the Sun Belt Conference Tournament. Going into the tournament, the Raging Cajuns were the number 2 seed, unfortunately 1-2 and done. So now they're just going to see who's going to come out conference champion. Joining us is Sports Information Director for the Raging Cajun Baseball, Jeff Schneider. Jeff, how are you, man?
Doing good. Watching lots and lots of baseball here in Lafayette this week.
What, 17 games or something like that you've got over there at your park?
Potential for 17 games if you play the if necessaries today. And right now we're actually sitting in a lightning delay, first game of the day. So South Louisiana weather, always playing havoc in tournaments.
Question for you, RPI-wise, where are the Raging Cajuns after or approximately after the 1-2 showing in the Sun Belt tournament?
So right now the Cajuns sitting at 58 in the RPI, and I think it's all but a done deal that they're gonna see their season come to an end this week. Unfortunately, I think the chances that they had of getting into the tournament was if they had made it to Championship Sunday, but unfortunately for the Cajuns, the pitching wasn't there this week, and there was never a team that really could hit their way to a championship or to a tournament.
Yeah, it just all collapsed at once after the crazy 19-16 win spread out over 2 days against Arkansas Little Rock. It seemed to obviously take the steam out of this team, and they were, I want to say, 19-7 in their last 26 games prior, after that victory.
Yeah, it was. They finished the second half 21-7.
Yeah.
And so, an incredible second half, incredible second half for this team. But, the steam had just run out of the engine.
Yeah, it was looked like the Raging Cajuns were poised to make it at least maybe to Sunday at home for the conference tournament. They were 1-0 in the conference tournament, and then all of a sudden it just all collapsed. Pitching, offense, I think 3-4 hits over the last 2 games. So Tony Robichaux's group disappointing year because there were some pieces to this team you really liked. I mean, Hogan Harris is going to be a high draft pick, the big lefty out of St. Thomas More. Nick Lee was expected to have a great year, did not. So you had some injuries. The offense, it took 2 months before it got going, but still a lot to like about this program moving forward, the facilities, and some of the talent that is there. This is definitely probably an outlier season for Tony, wouldn't you think?
Well, I think if you take away the fact that you didn't have Gunnar Leger for the season due to injury, you didn't have Hanson Monica for the season due to injury.
Who's your catcher?
Who's your catcher? That's 2 big pieces missing from a year. Next year, they're going to retool. They're going to bring a lot of the good pieces back. There's one thing about a Tony Robichaux program, in all the time he's been in Lafayette, he's never gone 3 years in a row without a trip to the NCAA tournament. And I don't see that changing next year.
Question for you real quickly. Hogan Harris, Nick Lee, 2 big arms, one left-handed, one right-handed, both juniors, both will get drafted. Do you think one of them comes back?
I think Hogan Hogan is a done deal to the league. I think Nick Lee it depends on where he gets taken.
You think Nick Lee maybe comes back, depending on where he's drafted?
Depending on where he's drafted. So now the deal with Nick is that he's and you'll see scouts a lot. They don't necessarily look at the numbers. They look at projectability and stuff. And he's got a high spin rate on his pitches, and he's got projectability as far as frame and size. So it just depends on whether a team's really hot on him or not. It also depends on how much money whoever drafts him has available to spend in that class.
Well, we'll keep an eye out because it would be a huge deal if Lee came back, because you got to believe he's going to fix his season. He's too talented. Jeff Schneider joining us, Sports Information Director for the Raging Cajuns. Went 1-2 in the conference tournament. RPI right at 58, probably not enough to get an at-large bid. Thanks for joining us, Jeff. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, let's go back to the phone line. Joining us is the captain of the 2000. All right, we're chasing him down. We're going to have Blair Barbier on here in just a second. Who was in 1997 and 2000. Blair, of course, was a big part of the LSU baseball national championship success. 2 titles. 97 was a freshman All-American at second base, and then by 2000 he moved over to third, was a captain of that team. And everybody, you think back to that national championship game in 2000 where LSU was trailing 5-0 to Stanford, who had 2 first-round picks pitching in that game. LSU was down 5-0 late. They get a big home run from Blair, I want to say in the 8th inning, to make it 5-3. Jeremy Whitten then goes deep to tie it up in that same inning, and then of course they win it on the Brad Cressy walk-off single to left scoring Ryan Theriot. That was a million years ago, and joining us now is Blair, who's a proud papa of 3 little girls headed to the beach, I'm guessing, huh, Blair?
A little water park action, Jumbo.
Oh,
A little
water park.
action.
Okay.
We're excited. Yeah, we're excited.
I mean, is it Blue Bayou, or where are we headed?
No. We're going over to Texas, Schlitterbahn.
Oh, nice.
Going to do that. So we
they
did well in school, so a little reward for the crew.
Are we getting the room where you just walk right out the back and you jump into the lazy river? Did you get that?
No,
one?
I don't think we're doing that one.
Okay, well, don't tell them that one exists because it's really cool.
No, definitely.
I mean,
we'll do that when we go.
Yeah, there you go. How about this? The Todd Peterson deal. I mean, it's become national. I mean, it's the Scott Van Pelt best thing he's seen all day. I'll ask you, a guy who's played a lot of baseball, coached a lot of baseball, been all around the game for many, many years. Was that one of the greatest top 2 or 3 things you've ever seen?
Well, greatest top 2 or 3. Wow.
I guess I'm caught up in the moment.
Yeah, I'm super happy for Todd. The problem I've got is now every pitcher that I've ever played with, I get the text messages and the calls. See, we told you we could do it. We should have been able to hit. We'd have been better off if we could have hit. So that's really what I'm dealing with. But I really am happy for Todd. I mean, he smoked that ball. It was classic, and it really is catching some cycles on the airways, which is cool too.
I mean, look, Peterson, to me, just puts the exclamation point on what Austin Bain has been saying all year long, which is it's just not that hard. It's just, I mean, we made such a big deal when a guy hit 300 in the past, and at the end of the day, I mean, come on, it's just not that hard. Just step in the bucket and swing hard.
That's right. It's the hardest thing to do in sports betting is losing some weight. I'm with you.
You spent a year in the dugout with Paul Mainieri in his first season at LSU. You were on his staff, and it's obvious that Paul Mainieri has some kind of mojo, some kind of magic when it comes to the SEC tournament and Hoover, because his teams, no matter how good during the regular season or not, or how well they're playing at the end of the season or not, they always have a good showing. And here we are once again. This team is a number 8 seed. They kind of limp in a little bit at the end of the year to the tournament. We're all talking about Mississippi State and everybody else and Florida. And all of a sudden, here's LSU on Saturday with a chance to get to the championship.
Yeah, it's amazing. And really, I would say almost the mark of a good coach. They get their teams ready to play at the end of the year when those championships are on. He's done that consistently. I mean, that's definitely something you have to give to him. And he, and sometimes that comes with taking lumps early so you can find out who can do what. And that way you know who you can and can't go to in those pressure moments in championship baseball at the end when you're playing in these tournaments. But he does that year in and year out. And I tell you, if the bats get hot and they continue to peak at this time, I wouldn't count them out for anything at this point. I mean, obviously, I don't think a host site's on the menu, but they'll be tough to deal with wherever they go, I think.
By the way, I want to get your reaction because you were on that 07 Paul Mainieri team, which was tough. I mean, his team finished slightly above 500. He was putting in a whole new culture. You decided to get out of the coaching racket and go into private business. And but you spent a year also alongside Cliff Godwin. And as I'm watching on Cox Sports Television right now, ECU, the Pirates, are up 4-2 on Connecticut in a championship game over there in the America. Is that Conference USA? What is that? I'm trying to think.
Got me on that.
That's American Athletic Conference. American Athletic, same conference that Tulane's in. But Cliff Godwin's team has done well. Been to Omaha, and what do you remember about Cliff? And and I'm sure you're thrilled to see the success he's having.
No, definitely. Cliff's the ultimate grinder. I mean, he's gonna have those guys believing that they can in every which way, right? And really, that's key. I mean, a lot of times, especially at the end of the year, when the better teams begin to surface, right, and they're the ones left playing, the difference in talent really isn't that much. And then it kind of comes down to that belief system, and he's definitely one of those guys that'll get his teams believing, get them riled up, make sure that they aren't going to roll over and die at any moment in any game. So I'm happy for Cliff. I know he loves his alma mater, and I know he wanted to get back there. I know it's almost his dream job. So I'm happy to see the success that he's having.
Question: I know it's his dream job, but a scenario one day where Paul Mainieri steps down 4, 5, 6 years, and Cliff Godwin comes in as the head coach at LSU. Can you see that?
I would say all things are possible, especially if that resume keeps building, right? I mean,
right.
Back if you were able to get back to Omaha or even win it, I mean, the parity in college baseball is there. So I mean, it's not as if a team. I mean, we saw College of Charleston a few years back get in there and get it done. It's not out of the realm, but I mean, I would say anything's possible if that resume of his keeps building.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those scenarios where you're right. If he continues to make regionals, and I know it's his alma mater, but after 7, 8 years there, you realize, oh boy, it's kind of nice to go have that nice facility and all those millions of dollars in fans. And look, if Paul Mainieri does well enough towards the back end of his career to where he has a major say in who is going to replace him, then that bodes well. I mean, who knows for a Cliff Godwin, or I mean, it could be a Nolan Cain or whatever. But if you're looking at somebody with experience as a head coach, he's going to have plenty of it when that day comes. We're visiting with Blair Barbier, former two-time College World Series champion. Before we let you go, Blair, this LSU baseball team, it's been a little bit up and down. It's been inconsistent. From afar, when you watch this squad, what's just your overall takeaway of the 18 Tigers?
Well, I tell you, I think of injuries really first and foremost, with Josh Smith and some of the arms that have gone down and Bryce Jordan. So they've had to deal with that. And throughout any year, teams are going to have to deal with that. It seems like they've had been bit by that bug a little bit more. But honestly, my take at this point, really, when you talk about Hess and Hilliard on the front end, I mean Peterson, and there are many others in there that that throw it well, Fontenot, and I could keep going. In those little short series, so after they get through the tournament, nice showing, solidified a tournament berth, I would say. And now they're going to get into a little 14 regional and then have to beat somebody best of 3. I wouldn't count them out. It's kind of where I am, especially if the bats stay hot and that lineup continues to solidify and they can bunch those hits with Duplantis and Watson and Cabrera. I mean, and if that happens and those arms have some good nights, I think anything's possible for them at this point.
Blair, thanks for the time. Enjoy Schlitterbahn. Are we going to go 30, 15, 60? What are we putting on to keep the sun off?
You know, I'm feeling good about not too much right now, but as the day wears on, you got to get into the protection mode.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's hope that you have a chance at protection and you don't get hit by some of the rain. I mean, that's good move going west, by the way. Good move.
For no rain, but we'll see. Hopefully it's, going the other way, and hopefully no one has too much damage from this thing or this entire hurricane season as we embark upon it. I mean, we know the damage it can do, so.
All right, well, safe travels. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, Blair Barbier right there with us. Got the wife, the 3 daughters, headed to Schlitterbahn. What a hero dad he is this weekend on Memorial Day weekend. My goodness. He's definitely going to get the special Father's Day gift in a couple of weeks. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk to Donnie Jones. Remember him? He was the punter on LSU's national championship football team under Nick Saban, and then went on to have a great career in the NFL, won a Super Bowl last year with the Eagles. We'll talk to him when we come back about everything going on with the NFL, the anthem situation this year, also his thoughts on he's a big LSU guy, went to Catholic High, and, of course, we'll have some thoughts on Billy Cannon, who passed away this past week. Want to get his takeaway on the legend. We'll be back, and then Doug Thompson, we'll visit with him later in the show as well. Don't go anywhere. Sports Shorts will continue right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue-collar worker. If you're
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It has been an exciting week of baseball, also softball. How about it? Beth Torina's LSU softball team takes game one of Florida State on the road in a thrilling one-run victory. It turns out to be thrilling. They won 6-5. They went into the last inning up 6-2, gave up a run, a 3-run yak, and then all of a sudden, gave up a 3-run bomb and then, had to sweat it. Brought in Hoover for the last out to get the punch out. But still, I don't care how you do it, on the road against a national seed in Florida State. I remember LSU went into Florida, Tallahassee last year and beat them on the road for a super regional to get to Oklahoma City. So obviously the LSU is in the Seminoles' heads. And this would be quite the story. I mean, the offensive sticks came out, because this has been a team that hasn't really gotten it done this year offensively. It's all been about the mound, and they got it done offensively yesterday. But the most interesting, and I'm not a big softball fan personally. I'm not a huge fan of the sport, but obviously I pull for LSU. But how about the Texas A&M at Florida softball series? This thing is one apiece going into Game 3 today. But Texas A&M should have won the series. They should be all packed up their bags and on their way to Oklahoma City for the College World Series against, I think Florida's the number 2 national seed, if I remember correctly. And A&M's up big in the last inning, the 7th inning at Florida, and then just absolutely implodes. Base hits, errors, walks. I mean, they had a 2-out ground ball to short that any of us could have fielded barehanded. It was hit so softly, and about a 3-hopper, just a regular routine as routine could be. And in that moment, the shortstop choked for A&M, and it went between her wickets. And then the pitcher walks in the next run or two. It was just an absolute implosion by Texas A&M, and I thought that was it. That was it. I mean, they just blew it, and they're going to get blown out in game number 2. But give them a lot of credit. They came back the very next day and held on to a 5-4 victory, the same score they lost by the day before, and got it done. And so Texas A&M taking on Florida, that's an entertaining series that has been back and forth. So definitely go ahead and check that out. While we're chasing down Donnie Jones here in just a second, if we don't get him, Lloyd's going to give Doug Thompson a call. But I want to tell you about the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. And if you're watching it on the show, you'll see some of the faces that are behind me. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame induction weekend is coming up. That's going to be June the 28th through July 1st. The festivities take place in Alexandria and Natchitoches. If you can't make it up there for any of the 7 events that we have, I'll tell you about, you can watch some of it on Cox Sports Television. We'll have the press conference on June the 28th for you, live and tape delay that night on CST. It's a 2-hour press conference. It's going to be a fantastic event. And then that Saturday, for the first time ever, we're going to have the induction ceremony live. The red carpet show starts at 5, replays at 6, and then 7 o'clock we'll go into the Natchitoches Convention Center and we'll have the induction ceremony. Some of the names of some of the greats that are going to be inducted this year into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. How about Russ Springer, former LSU Tiger pitcher, spent 18 years in the big leagues. There's only 75 people walking the planet that have pitched in more games than Russ Springer. He's going to be getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. Went to Grant High School in Central Louisiana. Brandon Stokely, who Como High School, Brandon Stokely played for the Raging Cajuns, set an NCAA record for freshman yards per game that year, and then of course played 15 years in the NFL, won a couple Super Bowls, one with the Ravens, one with the Broncos, or was it the Colts? I can't remember. But Brandon Stokely, of course, best friends with Peyton Manning, and he does sports talk radio up in the Denver area and does a great job. Reggie Wayne, John Ehret High School from the West Bank of New Orleans, went to the U, the University of Miami, where he was roommates with Ed Reed. And then, of course, Reggie Wayne went on to play in the NFL a very long time, a 6-time Pro Bowler. So a great guy. So looking forward to having some of the stars. And, of course, how about our own friend of the program, Lynn Rollins? He's receiving the Distinguished Service Award in sports journalism. Lynn's been doing TV and radio and covering sports for over 40 years. out of Pineville and went to Northwestern State, where he and Jim Hawthorne both did their undergrad there. And so excited for him. A guy I've done many, many, many games with, and a good friend, Lynn Rollins. He's going to be getting in. And we've got others like Steve Gleason receiving a Dave Dixon Distinguished Dave Dixon Award, somebody who brings national prominence to the state of Louisiana through sports. So anyway, it's going to be a great event. That's June the 28th through July 1st. Go to lasportshall.com for more information, and we'll hear from those Hall of Famers in the month of June right here on Sports Shorts. lasportshall.com. Got a golf tournament, all kind of great stuff. Let's bring in a guy who's been in that Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame golf tournament, and hopefully will join us again this year. Doug Thompson, who just got finished with the call of the shortest game he's ever called, one-inning game, the recap, 11-0 victory LSU over Florida. Doug Thompson joins us. How are you, sir?
I'm good. An inning and a third, actually, Ronnie, was all the Tigers needed today to take care of the number one ranked team. And I was hoping you were going to say maybe a future inductee into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame because, you know, I thought I had a little bit of political stroke in that organization, but apparently not. I'm just a member of one of the golf tournaments.
Well, let me just say this, Doug. Of the 35 votes, you have mine. So you're going to get one vote from me, and I 100% agree we should put you in the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. But while we're waiting for those other 34, let's talk about this LSU baseball team. You've been doing this now for 3 years on the broadcast. You've gotten up close and personal with these pulmonary teams. I can't put my finger on what it is about going to Hoover, but it's just magic sauce.
Well, the bottom line is, Ronnie, you know, pulmonary, you know, does things a little bit different in terms of maturing and developing his team. He takes a little bit longer, especially with new faces. But what you see from that is guys like Cam Sanders and Devin Fontenot scuffle a little bit in a year that perhaps they, you know, they weren't as refined as they should have been, you know, going into their first type of pitching situations. But those outings now have proved, obviously, to be extremely valuable. So the bottom line is this. What we've seen Pulmonary do from year one, really, which was his worst year, of course, only because he had Blair Barbier on the staff, though. He finally got some good coaching out there. But that first year was the toughest transitional year. But still, even in that year, coming down the home stretch, they were playing the best baseball that they had played all year. That's what's happening with this team. That's what happened last season. And that's your typical Pulmonary brand. Whatever happens, the best ability of the team or the best capability of the team is going to be there coming down, you know, into the games that matter. And really, that's all you can ask for.
A couple things that have come out of this. We'll get to the Todd Peterson story in a minute, just because that's been, you know, talked about so much over the last 24 hours. But Cam Sanders, from a pitcher standpoint, I mean, this is the guy all of a sudden that, you know, Nolan Cain was raving about to you and I before the season, where he thought Cam Sanders was a guy that might become the surprise of the year. It turned out to be Hilliard and Labus, but all of a sudden, Cam Sanders over the last week has figured it out. He's throwing strikes, and we know he's got good stuff in the low-mid 90s, but, man, this is a different guy.
Yeah, no, it's like circa Zach Hess during the 2017 run. I mean, look, the old adage, what comes first, confidence or success, right? I mean, who knows what the answer to that is, but regardless, Cam Sanders has both right now going for him. I mean, he's just lights out. I mean, you know, Friday night starter type stuff right now, and even Devin Fontenot. I was actually talking to Nolan before the game, and he said, first, to your point, hey, that's the Cam Sanders I was telling you about. You know, that's the guy we saw in the fall in certain outings, and we knew that he was capable of that. But with regard to Devin Fontenot, who I've liked since the first night I saw him pitch back when he was 90, 91, that guy's now like 94 today, and I don't know if it was an actual, if the gun reading was accurate, but 98 miles an hour flashed on the radar screen or the you know, the scoreboard at the Met, and dude, it looked like it. I mean, it was up in the strike zone. It had some pop on it, and the hitter didn't even have get to flinch at it. I mean, it was coming. The last pitch of the game was 94 miles an hour. So, look, Ronnie, you well know you've been on some championship runs yourself. There has to be a player or two do something unexpected in the postseason to have any type of success. And although it's early, only 3 or 4 games into the postseason, we're starting to see that type of thing, that type of, you know, I want to step up and be a part of this, you know, type thing happening. So it's exciting here in Birmingham. Upbeat. The Tigers are, they're obviously feeling it right now, and as well they should be. They just shut out Florida for only the second time this year, and sent the number one team packing. With an 11-0 victory. That was we were talking in between innings. If we were to have been foreign broadcasters that were subbed in to call that game, and we didn't know history, we didn't know rankings, we didn't know anything about either team, there is absolutely no way that we could have said the Florida Gators were the better team of the two for what we saw over the last 24 hours.
Florida has to. They got to have a come to Jesus with themselves when they get back, because this is more than just a little blip on the radar. Lost 6 of 7, and that was one of the most atrocious performances I've ever seen from a top tier team like that. And they've got to really do all kind of extra work and figure it out. All right, so this is a bring your son to the ballpark day over in Hoover, and so no coaching for you. Cam, your son Cam doesn't have a tournament or anything this weekend.
We still have some games going. We had a barn burner end of the year tournament. Heartbreaking loss at about 11 o'clock at night out at the facility there at Traction over the week, and we left the next morning. One of the main reasons that I do the radio, Ronnie, is because my sons Cam, Cade, and I have an 8-month-old boy who I'm sure is going to fall right into the fray. They love it, and Cam and I traveled all last postseason, and we will do the same type of things. This is our second time to Birmingham. Of course, we hope to be in Omaha again. We have friends with us, one of Cam's buddies, and a neighbor, a buddy of mine. So it's really a great time, and times I'm sure we will look back on and always cherish.
So is Cam like the governor of the ballpark? He just kind of runs around, knows everybody, and is that how he's doing it?
We're trending in that direction. When we were driving up, he's like, wait a minute, I remember this building. I remember that building. We're staying in the same hotel, of course. Things are familiar to him, and it's fun for him, and that's what makes it all worth it to me.
Is he right there with you? Can we talk to him?
He is in the room. I don't know if he'll be shy or not, but let's see if he's. He might not be. He might not be as nervous with you as he is with Moscona, just because you're Uncle Ronnie. So
okay.
Hold on one second. Here you go, Cam.
Hey, buddy.
Hello.
Hey, Cam. This is Uncle Ronnie. I got a question for you, Cam. Who is your favorite LSU baseball player this year?
Can I pick 3?
You want Bain? Oh, can you pick 3? Yeah, you can pick 3. That's fine.
Austin Bain, Antoine Duplantis, and Zach Watson.
Those are all pretty good ones. I mean, you picked the 3 best ones, but you didn't say any Todd Peterson? No Todd Peterson?
No.
No, that's not your guy, huh? Okay. All right, so of those 3, you give them to me again. Who were your 3?
Austin Bain, Antoine Duplantis, and Zach Watson.
Okay, so those are your 3 that we're talking to Cam Thompson, Doug Thompson's son. All right, of those 3, if you could only pick one, who would it be?
Antoine Duplantis.
Antoine Duplantis. All right, you know what? That's my favorite too. He went to Lafayette High School. He's a junior. He played for me on the Marucci White Sox. And he's a great kid. He's going to play in the major leagues one day. So you did good. I like that. Antoine Duplantis. Okay. All right, Cam. Well, I want you to give the Tigers some luck today when they take on Arkansas, all right?
Okay.
All right. Thanks for chatting with us.
How was it going? Yeah, no, I agree with both of you, Ronnie. I'm sitting here looking at all these statistics over the last couple nights, and Duplantis, he is 9 hits away, if my math's right. I do have a public school education, though, so you never know. I think he's 9 hits away, Ronnie, from joining the top 10 all-time career hits list. And, as well as I, that's like the Mount Rushmore of the LSU offensive hitters. But what I find just remarkable is there's only 2 players on that list that are 3-year players, and that's Todd Walker and Ryan.
Would it be Cressy or Furness?
No, sorry.
Oh, that's right, because they were 4-year guys. They were 4-year guys.
I'm literally just Ryan Patterson. Sorry, I'm just.
I didn't realize Ryan. I didn't realize Ryan was in the top 10.
And that's impressive because if you look at it, and again, I've been looking at a lot of things with Duplantis, but Patterson and Walker's way up there. Number 3, which is like wow. But Patterson himself is up there at number 6, and what I'm talking about right now is Duplantis. Knocking off. I think it's Tyler Hanover in the 10th spot. with 9 more hits. So, I mean, that's just remarkable. He leads the tournament in hits. He leads the tournament in runs scored. He's a career 330 guy. He's a triple away from the all-time career triples guy at LSU to tie that guy. It just goes on what this kid has done. He has, from day one, played like, an All-American. As a freshman, he has that Tom Brady-like ability to kind of slow any moment down, and he really has a plan in every at-bat, and he never panics. And when he's down 1-2 or 0-2, a lot of guys, will chase and swing at really bad pitches. He's just a very smart player, and I agree with you, Ronnie. He's got a pretty good chance, I think, to play for a very long time.
I've said this, just since I've coached him when he was 17 years old. I think he's going to hit 300 at every level he plays, just because the mechanics are sound. His head doesn't move. He's got great hand-eye coordination. Yeah,
it's just like Pepper. It's Juan Pierre, 2.0. I mean, he's really not trying to hit the ball in the right center field gap. He's really trying to, hit it in that 6 hole or into the left center field gap, and that's what makes him great. His bat just stays in the zone so long. But he has that just innate ability to kind of split, like Todd Walker almost.
Yeah.
He always seems to get the big hit in the big moment when that heart rate is supposed to be accelerated. He has the ability to keep it down and stay focused, like none other. So hats off to that guy. I don't know if he'll be a Tiger next year.
No, he won't be.
I'd love to watch him one more year, if so, but I think he's got a chance to play for a long time.
I think he's going to be, a 3rd through 5th round draft pick, somewhere up in there?
It's so hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's so hard to tell, Ronnie, because of the power. I mean, he obviously, you can't call him a 5-tool guy because he lacks that ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark. And in that game, it's a business, and guys are getting bigger, faster, stronger, like in every other sport. So those outfield positions are starting to become power-type
Yeah.
positions. You rarely see a guy, these days that are the Duplantis guy anymore, unfortunately. The Juan Pierres of the world, they're slowly but surely, just like the 88-mile-an-hour bullpen right-hander. Those days have come and gone. So, again, I think Duplantis has a shot because, like you said, it doesn't matter. They're going to have to eventually realize this kid's going to hit 300 just rolling out of bed. But what round will he get drafted in? It's really just so hard to tell.
By the way, nice Juan Pierre reference, 2017 Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame inductee. And
I love that guy.
Yeah.
As much as I love Lynn Rollins, I love JP.
Yeah, Juan Pierre, great Alexander Senior High graduate. All right, Doug, thanks so much. Good luck on the call tonight, and have fun as LSU takes on Arkansas.
Indeed. Y'all have a good day, buddy. Bye.
All right, there's Dougie T, 30 years, color analyst for LSU baseball on the network. We take a break. We got Donnie Jones. We flipped them. We're going to have Donnie Jones, former LSU and NFL punter. We're going to talk to him when we return right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your Vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back, everybody. Sports Shorts. Joining us right now is former Catholic High Bear, LSU Tiger, and Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles, who hung it up while on top, Donnie Jones, Baton Rouge's own, greatest punter ever out of the city of Baton Rouge. Right, Donnie, how are you, man?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Appreciate you for taking the time to join us. Before we talk about, last year, just want to get, you're a big LSU guy and historian. Billy Cannon passed away this past week, and I'm sure you have some thoughts, and what he meant to you, and if you have some interaction stories, tell us about it.
Yeah, actually, when I heard that news, we were out of the country. We took a little family trip over to Turks and Caicos, and getting that news, it really kind of, struck me because right around the spring game time, I had an opportunity to sit down with him. They had a function at LSU and get to visit with him, and I remember, he was telling some stories about his time at LSU, and as we looked out from the south end zone, the upper level was where whatever the club level was up there, and he was kind of telling me when he was here how there was nothing out there, and just sharing, thoughts and stories of his time at LSU, and, for me, getting to meet, one of the all-time greats, and, hearing his stories, that was really special for me, and also got to sit down with him at the Rasponi family, their spring luncheon. He actually sat right next to me. So, when I heard that news, obviously, very sad day, but, fortunately for me, I had the opportunity to, sit and talk with him a little bit, and really recently. So, he will definitely be missed, and one of the all-time greats to put on the purple and gold.
He himself was a punter back in the day. That was one of the duties he did as being a 2-3-way guy. Did y'all talk any punting?
We didn't. No, we didn't talk any punting. I guess he's more remembered for his legendary run.
He might not even remember the punting he did.
Yeah, I don't think so. That did not come up. But I'm sure he booed it. I think all around he was a tremendous athlete.
There's been so many greats that have played at LSU. And in your opinion, is it just is he the greatest ever? And or who for you is on the Mount Rushmore of LSU, but football?
Well, there's so many, and you look at Billy Cannon. He's the only Heisman Trophy winner that LSU has produced. And obviously, I know it's hard to win the Heisman Trophy, but there've been a lot of talented players, come out of LSU. There's too many to name, but heck, I played with some great ones. There was great ones that came before me, after me. I think that's too hard to really nail down because, the program, I really feel, when I came in 1999 under Jerry DiNardo, we struggled that year, and then obviously he got fired. Nick Saban came in, and really that's when the turnaround, the program really started. And it started with him and the foundation he built, to win, I think it was 2 national championships, right? He won 1 and then Les won 1. But, to be able to recruit the caliber players and then to have the success we had on the field, and all that success translates into guys, moving on to the next level and really having success. So, the program really over the last, I would say, 18 years now has really grown and really been a great program for, putting guys into the NFL.
Well, you were a 7th-round draft pick. Got drafted. Did you expect to be drafted out of LSU, or did you think you were going to be a free agent? I mean, was that a surprise when you were picked, or were you disappointed you didn't go earlier?
The draft is funny when it comes to punters. Last year there were no punters taken. This year there was 4, I believe, that were drafted. So for me, I was hopeful that I would be drafted. But as the rounds kept, going by, and DJ Sander was taken in the 3rd round the year I came out by Green Bay. So I'm kind of course, sitting at home going, golly, 3rd-round pick. And then Andy Lee, who's still playing, went in the 6th round to San Francisco. And, so as the rounds keep going by, you're like, oh, man, it's not looking too good. And in my situation, I actually was on the phone with Cincinnati. I was talking to their special teams coach, and he was telling me, because the way the draft goes, it's real funny how the teams, they love to call you and go, hey, you watching the draft? We got this pick, and hey, we're going to take you. And then the pick comes, and then all of a sudden, we thought we were going to take you. But hey, here's what we'll do for you. We want you to come in as a free agent. We want you to compete for the job. Well, so the guy from Cincinnati was telling me this, and as I was talking to him, I see a Washington number calling. And I don't even know if I told him, hey, I got to take this. I think I just clicked over. Because Seattle was a team now that didn't come and work me out here in Baton Rouge. And I'm kind of like, they don't have the time to come here and work me out. But the guy wanted me to send a video to him of me punting. So I almost didn't do it. I'm almost like, you know what, if he can't come down here and work me out, I'm not going to do this. But I'm glad I sent that video because that person calling was I believe was the director of pro personnel, and they said, hey, we're going to take you with the next pick, and it was pick 224. And just gave me my first opportunity, so things didn't go well my first year, but learned a lot and never gave up. And 14 years later, it's crazy to look back and the journey I took. But I was very fortunate to get that call and get selected.
Now you guys go on to win the Super Bowl, got an invitation to the White House. When is that supposed to happen?
The logistics, I think, are still I'm still trying to get the information.
Okay.
I know we're going June the 5th.
Okay.
Which is coming up pretty soon here. And I just actually received a text message, I believe it was a couple of days ago. I think they were trying to coordinate when the president was going to be there and with everything else going on. But I know it is June the 5th. The logistics of the trip, I do not know that yet. We're still trying to coordinate that. But I do know it is June 5th, and I'm excited to go and look forward. Went with LSU when we won the national championship. Yeah. And, I think it's, to be recognized as a team for our accomplishments. I think it's a great thing, and I look forward to going and sharing that with my teammates.
Yeah, I got to go in 1991 after we won the national championship. Got George H. Bush was the president back then, and Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio were there in the Rose Garden with us. And so that was a really cool team photo, and got a chance to visit with them. That was we were just piggybacking. It was the 50th anniversary of the 1941 season when Williams had the hit streak, 57-game hit streak, and Maggio. I'm sorry, Williams hit over 400, and Maggio had the hit streak. And so they were honoring them. 50-year anniversary was the day of the All-Star game, and we got invited as well. And so it was really cool. The ceremony was held on CNN. That's how things have changed over the years. How much, Donnie, is this whole anthem debate discussed in the locker room? Was that something that was kind of on the tongue of you guys last year?
I don't recall us ever having any discussion as a team, last year. I believe the year before there was a discussion amongst the team about wanting to make some demonstration for the first game, and that game fell on 9/11. And, there was a couple guys that I guess kind of spearheaded that, and the majority of the team were opposed to doing that. So, but since then there really hasn't, over the last couple of years, really been discussions amongst the team, about that. I think guys who wanted to demonstrated, and, it was a few, and the majority stood there and had their hand over their heart and, sung the national anthem. So, for me, it's never been a question. I would never, demonstrate during the anthem. I stand and have my hand over my heart and sing the song, and I'm very thankful, to be where I'm at and to have the opportunity, to play, on Sunday. So there's been a lot of men and women that have fought for our freedom and have lost their lives. And, I think that's a moment where, we really respect that and everything they did to, allow us the freedoms we have in this country.
Going to be interesting to see if the new way of dealing with it, meaning, hey, if you want to protest, stay in the locker room, versus come out and do it on the field, if that snips it in the bud, or if you have guys that come out. I don't know. What you got a take on if this is the solution?
You know, I really don't know. I think guys are going to do what they want, and you know that's their right. I think, you know, just reading a little bit on it, if you do demonstrate, there's going to be fines. So, you know, look, I've played with guys that you get fined if you don't wear the correct uniform, but
right.
You know, guys want to wear what they want to wear and do their swag and stuff. And there was a guy I played with at St. Louis. I mean, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of dollars in fines because he wanted to wear a certain thing and he wore it. So. You know, it's like me. I like my money too much. I was always really by the book when it came to uniform stuff. So, you know, I'm sure with the new rule, guy still wants to protest or demonstrate or whatever it is. You know, they'll do it. You know, and if not, you know, I guess they'll get fined or whatever. You know, if they choose to do that. So,
what's next for Super Bowl champion Donnie Jones? You retired. What's on the agenda next? What are you getting into?
Well, first off, I'm excited to be home with my wife and kids. And, you know, the last couple of years has been hard because I was living up there and they were down here and trying to really make it, you know, work the best for our family. Being in the situation where I was getting older, you never knew if you're going to be with the team. So, you know, being here, having them in their school here with their friends and around family was what we thought was going to be best. So I'm excited to be home and get to spend more time. I'm looking forward to volunteering at St. George, helping coach football this fall. You know, and then explore other opportunities. I graduated in LSU in finance, so been kind of talking to some people and just exploring, you know, different things that I may like to get into. So I'm kind of in that phase right now, but really just enjoying some time off. And, you know, it's been a grind the last 14 years, a stressful grind. And fortunately for me, it turned out where I was able to end my career as a Super Bowl champion.
Well, now you get to go tailgate. You remember what that was like as a kid. Now you get to do it as an adult.
Man,
so,
I'm looking forward to tailgating.
Donnie, thanks so much for the time, my man. Enjoy being back in Baton Rouge. We look forward to seeing you around Tiger Town in the fall.
Hey, you got it. Thanks for having me again.
All right, Donnie Jones joining us on Sports Shorts. We'll take a break. We'll come back, put a bow on things. Sports Shorts will continue right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau Saint Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to
Relief window experience. Relief
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone.
Sports Shorts Radio with Ronnie Rentz, Joel Davis, and Buzzy Heidel on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Just a couple minutes left on Sports Shorts. Some notes, some quick things to hit on. The Raging Cajuns baseball team not going to make the postseason. They went 1-2 in their Sun Belt Conference tournament at home. They were hosting the Sun Belt Conference tournament. They had been red hot. I think they were like 21-7 in their last 28 games. Going into the weekend, just didn't get it done. They're going to RPIs in the 50s. That's not going to be enough. So the Raging Cajuns, disappointing season because they had some big hosses on the mound. Just didn't live up to expectations. Had the injury with Gunnar Leger, their ace. So next year for Tony Robichaux's squad, we know the Raging Cajuns softball team, of course, made the postseason, lost to LSU in the championship game of the regional. Some other news, LSU women's golf coach, Bonson, 34 years, I believe, as the women's golf coach. She was the first recruit they ever had in that program. Her husband, Bo Bonson, been working with LSU forever and ever in the athletic department. Coach Bonson, she's retiring, announced it that this will be it. So the LSU women will have a new leader in the golf department, and women's golf trying to catch up to the men's golf, which is one of the premier programs in the country. We got finals, of course, of Game 7, Celtics and Cavs, and, of course, Game 6 with an injured Chris Paul who won't play between the Rockets and Warriors. My prediction all along was Warriors and Celtics. I'm flipping to Warriors and Cavs. I just think I'm all in on LeBron James. I do think, I hate to say this, I think he's past Michael Jordan. I think he's going to be the greatest basketball player of all time. I never thought I would say that ever. I had the Air Jordans 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but I just think that he's the man, and I believe in him. And we'll see. But if he doesn't make it, you know what? I grew up a Larry Bird Celtics fan. Not going to kill me. Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. All you got to do is go to lasportshall.com. Amazing month of June, some fantastic events, a celebrity bowling event, a golf tournament where we pair you with celebrities, fireworks, Wayne Toupson concert, induction ceremony on CST, and you can be a part of it, all of it, at lasportshall.com, honoring these guys, Russ Springer, Brandon Stokely, Reggie Wayne, Lynn Rollins, and many, many more, Louis Cook and others. June 28th through July 1st up in Natchitoches and Alexandria. Check it out. Be a part of it, lasportshall.com. It's a fantastic, fantastic event. All right, on behalf of the entire staff, I want to thank all of our guests that we had today, Joel Davis, Buzzy Heidel, Blair Barbier, Donnie Jones, Doug Thompson. I'm tired. I'm out. Sports Shorts next week, presented by LaBerge. Have a good one, everybody.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Does the new year mean new windows, hardy plank, or vinyl siding? Then you need to call Relief Windows for award-winning customer service and years of experience. Looking for quality replacement windows with lifetime warranties? Trust Relief Windows. Call us or come walk through our showroom and get a free consultation with one of our many window experts. Relief Windows is a proud partner of LSU Athletics. Come see us today or call 288-8138. 288-8138.
attention to detail makes the world go round. At Baker Printing, our approach to the printing business is very simple. Treat it as if it were your own. That's not always an easy job, but it comes from the top down in our company. We thrive on the unique jobs. Bottom line, we take care of our customers' projects as if they were our very own. At Baker Printing, attention to detail makes our world go round.
Introducing the Mercedes-Benz family of vans, including the full-size Sprinter and the mid-size Metris. If these are your wingtips, if this is your gourmet latte, then these are your vans. Vans for professionals. Strictly professionals. Best commercial van residual value according to ALG, and starting at just $25,995. Mercedes-Benz. Vans. Born to...
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the blue chip athlete to blue collar worker. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.